Welcome back to the set of a very special wellness effect where we focus in on men's health and wellness in commemoration of International Men's Day, celebrating our men and boys. Welcome to the set of the Wellness Effect. We are here celebrating all things men's health. The Sagicor Life Inc., University of the West Indies, Capefield Campus by the Sea, as well as the Healthy Caribbean Coalition. And on the set for this testosterone boosted edition, we have with us Akil Ifo, who is the manager of client relations at Sagicor Life Inc. That's just a coincidence. As well as Mr. Fabian Sargent, currently the president of Men's Empowerment here in Barbados. And Dwayne, I'm going to pass the baton over to you just to have a chat with Fabian, because I know a lot about men's, but you know nothing about men's.
Fabian, no, I want to really get into at the youngest here, and we're talking about our boys. You know, there's this conversation about boys in crisis, boys at risk. What's happening with our young boys in Barbados?
Very interesting question. Young boys are being boys. Young boys are being products of their environment. I think sometimes you give them a hard knock, and they're not responsible for a lot of what happens to them. You know, they're not the jobs, they're not the money, they don't run the house. You know, they're not responsible for their school environment. You know, they are 100% products of their environment. But with that said, I really think that there's an environment that is a bit challenging for young men and young boys. I say young men because it is the mindset. When we think of boys, I want people to understand that these boys become men. And a lot of the issues that men face start when they were boys. So we want people to think, when they see boys, understand that whatever you do to that boy is going to result or going to be an effect of a man later on. So that's how we would like to really get people to really see in terms of the raising of boys. But the environment is very difficult, and I do think that boys are trying their best. There are boys that are succeeding in many different areas, especially a lot more the contemporary areas of robotics and sports and swimming. I know sometimes we focus a lot on the negatives, but I know for sure that I'm in spaces where I am seeing young boys, young men really excelling and trying to do the best in the environment and resources that they have to their disposal.
And you have a son, right, Fabian?
I have two sons, 8 years old and 15
So
years
you're
old.
living the experience.
I'm definitely living.
What has that been like as a father?
It's been very, 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 I don't want to say challenging because
Careful, because they're watching.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. I'm very, very candid with my children.
Right.
And I tell them that they have the hardest father in the world because of what I see. It impacts how I parent them.
Right.
My 15-year-old, he came up in a different environment than my 8-year-old. My 8-year-old is a quote-unquote COVID baby. He started school in COVID.
Yeah.
And I'm able to see the difference between the two. But I respect their individuality. And I love being a father. It actually challenges me. But I can see why and how parents and other individuals in society struggle.
Yeah.
You know, and praise God for having support.
Especially about the book, right?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about men, but I think that one of the things that really strengthens us as men is the support from our female counterparts. And for me, as a parent, you know, I mean, having my wife there, you know, to really partner in this parenting role, it really, really helps. I'm here now.
Yeah.
She got to leave the children. You know what I mean? If it was a single parent, it would probably here wondering where I have to run to.
Your two sons will be saying no.
Yeah, or you know, it's school time, you know. So I tag her, she takes care of that, and I don't even go worry about them for the rest of the evening. You know, so it really, really helps.
But you take it to a new level, actually. Not only you're a father, and obviously you're enjoying that role, but you're engaged at a kind of a grassroots level with men through men's.
Yes, correct.
Tell us about that.
So, Men Empowerment Network supports an organization that focuses on social and emotional empowerment of men. And what that really means is that we try to get men to do a lot of introspection, understand their emotions, try to put a name to their emotions, because traditionally and culturally, we've never been taught to manage, we've never been taught how to deal with our emotions. We feel something, we put a word to it. Everything is angry. effects, you know, and we've never been able to compartmentalize or really put names. So we try to get men to understand who they are, understand what they're feeling, and also understand that they have the power of choice and the ability to determine their behaviors.
Right.
You can choose a particular behavior, whether negative or positive, once you understand your emotions. And that is exactly what we do. We provide safe spaces every single month.
Right.
The last
How long
Sunday,
is he? How old is the organization?
it's 6 years old.
6 years old.
6
Wow.
years old.
Yeah.
And you know, since we've been providing those safe spaces every month, you know, men, I mean, I've seen a lot of growth in men. I've seen fathers reunite with their children.
Right.
I've seen the relationships flourish. I mean, I've had some negative
Of course.
parts,
Yeah.
but I've seen a lot of growth in the men that are in the space, that are in the organization, who are also giving back, because we do have a mentorship program, and they too give back because they see the benefits of the organization and in their own personal lives.
Fabian, so tell me, what would you consider to be the three most challenging issues facing men here in Barbados?
On top of the list, relationships.
Relationships. Oh.
Yeah, relationships, finances. You know, men struggle, most of the issues that come to the organization are through relationship issues.
So 2 pillars of wealth,
Yeah,
right?
next
Emotional
one.
and financial. Yeah.
Financial. And then I think the other one I would really say is men not understanding who they are.
Identity.
Identity.
Got you.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So that's significant. I mean, 3 pillars of wellness and or that impact wellness, and your organization is seeing it at the grassroots level.
Yeah.
What steps have you taken to kind of address that?
So we do, a lot of what we do is based on research. So I pay attention to the research that is out there,
Right.
and we try to have
This
targeted
guy
programs.
called Devnish does some research.
Yeah. We try to have targeted programs instead of these broad brush programs.
Yeah.
We just had some research that was released by the Criminal Justice and Research Planning Unit.
Yes.
And we look at that, and that pretty much informs what we do with our young boys. You know, if Devonish do some research, we look at that, and that gauges what we do with our men. As I mentioned earlier, some challenges, relationships, and finance. You know, we have a program called Bridge to the World, where we try to get young boys in terms of money, trying to develop their professional skills, their employability skills, and entrepreneurship skills.
Yeah.
So you know, we try to meet needs. We try to address the needs
And across the
of men
spectrum, from boys
across the spectrum, you
Yeah.
know. And I think it has served us well.
Yeah.
And along with the research, we listen. We listen to organizations as well. Schools reach out to us. Various private and government organizations reach out to us. And we listen to the challenges that they have. We sit down, we have talks, and then we also create
And you respond.
programs
Yeah.
based on the requests and the needs
Yeah.
identified.
I have a key question, because you mentioned the whole notion of support, you mentioned health, but I've come across some research that shows that men are disinclined to seek out services, whether mental health services, physical health services, even when something is tragically wrong with them.
Mhm.
What can really explain this to the Caribbean side when it comes to men not wanting to go to the doctor or going to the psychiatrist?
I think,
You and Aki are also very in this.
yeah, I think the whole concept of being strong,
Yeah.
this falls into masculinity. You know, we are so grounded in the falseness of it that we portray.
Strong man.
Yeah, I always say we have a lot of
Yeah.
Hollywood stars walking about.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of people across Barbados, a lot of men who
Yes.
just wear masks. You know,
Yes.
and it has impacted their response to their own personal health. But I've found that where there are supportive, where there's support systems, whether it's a support group, whether it is a person you have a good relationship with, who can engage in positive conversation and guide that individual, these men respond.
Respond.
I've had men, I've had my digital rectal exam done, and I tell the men, I said, nah, but you're gonna explain it to them, you know, instead of us saying, I get it done.
I'm so glad you brought that up.
So support is important.
I mean, before we go to the break, here's an interesting observation that I have seen in my office in real time. Actually, I didn't really see it. My secretary did, and she just pointed out. Quite often, there are couples coming to see me, and they're booked at this, back-to-back appointment times for convenience. The woman always comes in and has a consultation without her husband and feels totally in control of the consultation. And then I'll say to her, okay, so let's just switch roles now. She'll say, no, I want to be here to hear what. And she manages that consultation. So that's one observation. But secondly, the man feels quite comfortable saying, I ask my wife, do I take the tablets? How often? I literally ask questions like, are you still getting the headaches? You're still getting headaches. Those kind of questions. So it's amazing how men are comfortable with delegating health to their partner, right? We'll be right back. Go get some water. If you're a man, get it yourself. Don't ask your wife to get it for you. And we'll be right back on the set of The Wellness Effect, where we are looking a deep dive into men's health and wellness in commemoration of, guess what, International Men's Day, celebrating our men and boys.
Your test results are back. I'm sorry to tell you that we found some abnormal cells, and that means your diagnosis is of prostate cancer. But I have some good news. The fact that you came in early, you did your PSA test, and you followed it up with your digital exam allowed us to find this thing early. And now there are some options in terms of treatment, and I'm happy to discuss them with you. Now I know a lot of people get concerned about cost, but I see here on your file that you have insurance, so that certainly should be able to help. I want to assure you that we're going to be able to work through this together, one step at a time.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Wellness Effect, and we are joined here by Akil and Fabi. Now, just before the break, we were talking about men and this toxic relationship with health-seeking behaviors. And Akil, you had something to say.
Yes. I support the feedback provided by Fabian for sure, especially as somebody that may be closer in age to youth than some of us.
Like us.
So I do support his comments. Even growing up myself, there is this notion that boys have to be strong. When I was younger, I used to cry, but I was told, you probably shouldn't.
Right.
I cry very loud today as a big man, right? And it's very refreshing. So I think historically there has been a culture where to be a man, you have to be big and strong.
Right.
So you can't ask for help. You can't appear weak, right? I further support what Fabian said as well, as well as you, Dr. Conlon, where you mentioned the nature of the relationship, the support of the relationship, really encouraging men to do more. I'll share a personal story with you.
Sure.
I would have had a doctor's visit earlier this year. I just went to have a checkup. Sometimes you need it.
Did you
always
always?
go? I did not, right? Which was the point, right?
I'm telling you.
So I went with my girlfriend at the time. We went together. She went in. Then I went in after. As the consultation started, I paused. I said, "Doc, did I go get my girl?" So she came in then, and she filled some gaps for me as well. And she also made sure that everything was good, because the doctor was a lady. I didn't want any problems with her. So I said, "Come on in, and hear what's happening, but also make sure things are good." So I think the support system in the form of relationship, whether it's a partner that you have, or family member, or even friends, it could go a long way in creating a new narrative for men to embrace. And as a youngster, I just turned 36 last week. So in this capacity, I do try my best to encourage persons when I see them in audiences in my age range to take proactive checks. Proactive care as it relates to their health. From the insurance perspective, we include a preventative care benefit. It is one of few benefits that pays at 100%. It reimburses at the limit associated with the service. So at age 40, people. At age 40, persons are able to go and get mammograms, for example. Gentlemen could go and get their PSAs. Right? So part of my mission, I believe, as a team member at Sagicor, is really getting younger persons to be, men in particular, more serious about their health. And
so does the Sagicor have like a program in place pushing men's health, specifically targeting men? Because I could see that you would need to get data showing which age categories might be at highest risk for different things to target them.
Well, somewhere it's being done right now. I think our focus right now is mainly on the educational aspect. And trying to shift the mindset, right?
begins in mind first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So right now we are crafting content almost weekly. It seems like to get the messaging further
I've
out.
seen it, and it's them coming even on social media.
Correct.
Yeah.
There are events such as Sagicor Cares, where we actually go into communities and engage with the members in the communities, providing free health checks.
Yeah.
Amazing, right? And things like that, I think, add a little more to the context around, am I doing the right things in my approach to managing my health, right? So I definitely agree, support system, changing mindset, your circle as well. If you have even 2 friends that you can have the conversation with, you know, a girl might marry, right?
Yeah.
You get to the fellas laugh,
Or
right? You get to the fellas laugh. But
Yeah.
if you do have a friend that will listen and hear you, and as they get older, it's real life now.
Yeah.
Conversations aren't about snacks and
So the
my
barbershop
friends,
is actually therapeutic.
it's
right?
real.
Yeah.
It's real, right?
And this is something that healthcare has failed. I'll be the first to say this. And I think I said this late last week, that we somehow have to get out there in communities where men meet. Because they're not going to come to
You
traditional
have to go
Correct.
where
They are go where they are.
So one big project in the United States was in New Orleans, I think it started, was the barbershop project, where
Yes.
barbers were trained to how to take blood pressure. And of course, blood pressure, you're meant to be in a chair, relax for X number of minutes. I mean, that's your barber's chair, right? So the barbers were able to take the blood pressure using this specialized device. And more importantly, they were able to shuttle these patients at risk into the health system. So they made a referral. Imagine that your barber saying, flagging you based on readings, and they were also trained to give targeted health counseling. We haven't done a good job at that. We kind of still expect men to enter the health space. That's not happening.
Yeah. And one of the best experiments I was involved in was men's health forums that were actually classified across the 9 polyclinics in Barbados. So over like 10 years ago, I was doing some evaluation of how men came together in those catchment zones in polyclinics. And they met once a month, and these were like 10 to 20 men, largely older men. And they were able to share their views and sentiments about their health concerns, and their wives were present, and partners and so on. And I found that there was a kind of a courage that was expressed in those men coming forward, a boldness when they were in numbers. And even though their partners were there, they were okay saying that, you know, I may not be able to get up, you know, and I'm not able to manage this particular disease, but my partner is here, or this person is here. I would really like to see a revival. Across the polyclinics, where we have men, and it doesn't have to be polyclinics, it can be schools, it can be workplaces, community centers. I think it would do well.
I want to add to that, because we actually have, we spoke of the barbershop project.
Right.
Yeah.
And we actually have one in Barbados. We're part of the University of Manitoba.
Yes.
We actually have 8 events planned.
Right.
As we lead up to International Men's Day
So,
this year.
yeah.
We'll be visiting. We have 5 barbershops. We visit
Yes.
barbershops.
Yes.
We created those safe spaces in the barbershops. We also be doing sessions at St. Leonard's Boys School, and then we culminate at Gun Hill Signal Station with a massive barbershop talk event. So we do have a number of, we had one there a few months ago.
Yeah.
So we are creating those spaces. There's a lot of work to be done. We need sponsors for these type of things, but it is happening. And I'm a big advocate for safe spaces, because as much as we talk about physical health, I'll tell you that I've seen an improvement in men trying to seek counseling. A lot more men have been calling the organization, calling events, seeking counseling. In the past, it used to be women, the sisters would call for their brothers, mothers call for their sons, and that type of stuff. Wives call for their husbands. So most women used to call the organization. These days, we're getting men calling for other men, and men calling for themselves. Saying,
Right.
look, I need help. I want someone to talk to. No. How can I get help? You know? Remember the last week, a guy called and said, listen, I got my hair, right? I have to eat. I'm bringing it to you. You know? And he came like, so I'm saying all that I'm seeing a change in terms of men reaching out there. I'm trying to pay attention to their mental health. I take responsibility.
I mean, I feel when we come back from the break, I'm going to put you literally in the hot seat, because the work environment is a space where let's just say there's the risk of tensions building up between genders.
Right.
So I know this isn't the case at Sagicor, because you guys are perfect. However, we'll be right back from the break. Join us for the Wellness Effect as we continue delving deep into men's health and wellness in commemoration of International Men's Day, the Sagicor Life Inc. Healthy Caribbean Coalition, and UWI Capefield Campus Wellness Effect.
Hi, I'm Fabian Sargent, Executive Director of Men Empowerment Network Support. We are an organization that focuses on the social and emotional empowerment of men and boys. What does that mean? It means that we provide safe spaces, training, counseling, or any other developmental programs for men and boys right here in Barbados. We are located at the YMCA, Pinfold Street, Bridgetown, St. Michael. Our contact number is 850-6367 or 850-MENS. You can find us on all social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Men Empowerment Network Support. On Instagram, we are MENS, MENS _246. And our email address is mensempowerment246@gmail.com.
All right, welcome back on the set of the Wellness Effect. We are still here discussing everything men. Testosterone level is really going to peak now. And we have on the set, of course, Fabian Sargent, who is the president of Men Empowerment here in Barbados, as well as Akil Eiffel, who is client relation manager. I always get that wrong, Akil.
Manager client relations, yes please.
Yeah, there you go. He always says it back because it's his job. So we're going to talk about the workplace. Sagicor is probably the perfect workplace after UWA. However, there must be some tensions that occur at work, especially between genders, because women think differently than men, and sometimes that doesn't always gel. How do you handle that at work?
My work experience, I would say, has been very unique due to my upbringing.
Right.
So I was raised mainly with ladies.
Right.
It was my grandmother, my mother, my auntie. So because of that, I have a different perspective on interacting with women and so on and so forth. So at Sagicor, I would probably openly say that women have been the most developmental factors in my career. Up to this point. That's a promise.
He has not been paid to say that. However, you just have to go back to pay.
So that is the truth.
Right.
Women have definitely poured into me in terms of establishing my confidence, helping me to push myself to be better, to do more, to do different things such as this. And that is something I have always really appreciated. As my career has matured at Sagicor, I have come to respect and appreciate the differences and styles between men and women.
Including leadership styles.
Correct. So I do a lot more active listening, for sure, right? There's always a message in there. So I do a lot more listening, and truthfully, my experience working with women is that, especially in an industry that is really heavily reliant on service to customers and empathy and compassion, those are the areas that I have become stronger in because of women, both professionally and at home, right?
Customer service and the emotional side of things. That happens so often, quite often when we are designing projects, academia is still male dominated, and we tend to focus on programmatic outcomes and get there however. And you can look around the room and see the women going, how are the students going to feel about this? And we're like, oh yeah, forgot the students.
Our results, nobody saw.
Yeah, we're kind of just the results. And I think that's so important because it shifts the conversation. I find as well in my workplace, certainly women pay a lot more attention to the details.
Yes.
This thing this doesn't look right, or so the appearance, those kind of things. But the leadership style is different. I was saying before we got started on the set that in a hospital here, which will remain nameless, but in Barbados, the only public hospital, the head of medicine, previously the head of surgery, only recently changed, the head of pediatrics, and emergency medicine are all women. And that's going to change the dynamic of the workforce. Because, again, the value systems are different in terms of working hours, I find now, hopefully this is translating to patients, the softer side, communication styles, ensuring that patients get certain information up front has become a priority.
And soft skills are critical. My grandmother would always say soft skills are the hardest skills to
Yeah.
learn.
And that's a fact.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, for sure.
I would have been, through your teachings, I would have gone to
He's pretty
Sagicor.
old, yeah.
Yeah, with my master's degree, and I had kept me studying at that point, my formal studying. And so the majority of my time there was, again, listening to persons who are more seasoned, and these were all women, encouraging me to work on those soft skills.
Yes.
So I always have manners because, my grandmother raised me. I have to have manners, right? But in terms of tailoring the communication and the approach within the space to be more respectful of the differences between us and then for our customers as well, I love it. And at home, I have my girl as well who provides that same level of support. So honestly, 35 is cool, 36 is even better.
Just love it. We're gonna have a special office.
Aging like wine.
36-year-old 36-year-old party.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Hold on, what was it?
I'm 41, so.
We're having a lot more fun on the set than you are watching us having on the set. But this has really been an exciting episode. I mean, we've touched on several topics. So, education, leadership,
Health.
of course, health.
Very important.
Where do you see the future of, let's say, the 2030 Caribbean man? What does that person look like? And what's the role that maybe an organization like Men Empowerment will have?
I see a lot more men being involved in their role as fathers. I see a lot more men involved in homes. I see a lot more men understanding who they are as individuals.
Do you see any
How,
gender role reversing? Like stay at home dads?
I don't think you're ready for that yet.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
It's not paternity leave facilities.
Well, paternity leave?
Paternity leave is a big.
Yeah, paternity leave, that is important. I don't mind being a stay at home dad, right?
Yeah.
But,
I hope Fabian's wife is watching.
I told you, those are quick, everything, you don't mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I really see, I see the change that we would like to see happening slowly. However, if we have a cohort of men who are stuck in the past,
Right.
who are stuck in a particular mindset, and who believe that a woman's place is in the house, and a man should be this, and a man should be that, and they constantly say, not because you have a penis and 2 testicles means that you have all the leadership skills in the world.
Just in case your biology was shaky.
I think
And there's some men who believe because
I know that's going to be a cut intro for this part, but it's sure.
but that's
Yes.
dictionary. Anyway, but yeah, man, I think that men need to understand and evolve with society. We're evolving as a people, and some people refuse to evolve with the times. And those that don't evolve will become stuck, and will create some social challenges. And when Dr. Professor Devnish, his research will probably say at some point.
Yeah.
But
I must read it sometime.
yeah, we have to pay attention to those behaviors definitely will create
Yes.
challenges in different spaces, in the workspace, in the community, and in the home.
I think though that there is a unique opportunity because of even this conversation in itself. We have various
Right.
various generations sitting here right now. And even,
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of, right? And then, like Fabian said, I believe the changes are occurring, they're just slow.
Slow.
So again, personal revelation, because I'm not just saying stuff.
Right.
I recently started therapy as well.
Right.
And I have never felt nicer.
Yeah.
For many, many years, I have been talking to myself, teaching myself, learning myself.
Right.
Introspection, only child, right?
Yeah.
It
I
has
identify.
gotten, right. So it has gotten to a point where I have accepted it's okay to be open to external help.
Right.
And I honestly feel really good about it. Like there's very little now that affects me because of that safe space.
And it's a comfort level.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm always amazed. And at first, I have to admit, it did shock me the first time a male medical student said to me, I'm taking tomorrow off for mental health break, and my counselor recommended. So you go to counseling. So, but no, it's the norm, right?
Yeah.
And for him to say that to me almost as a matter of fact kind of thing.
It's almost as easy as saying I'm going to the gym.
Yeah,
Precisely.
And that is how we should look at it, right?
Yeah.
This toxic masculinity, for lack of a better term, is really a joke. I listened intently to Fabian speaking about, men taking more time to learn who they are. That's so important.
Very
So important. And I think that's where a lot of the confusion could come, where men don't even take responsibility for the things that they should, like their health, whether it's physical or mental. So that self-awareness, it does wonders, and therapy could take it
It's
to another level.
difficult.
Yeah.
I want to kind of quickly just say maybe we can address in about 2 minutes,
Yeah.
the elephant in the room. Women raising boys.
I was always wondering about that.
Yeah, so no, and in many households that's the case, right? So what do you think are some key points for women who are raising boys, either single parents or even just as mothers in the household? I'll use an example. When I was going to school, not too long ago, there was, at the University of St. John, there was a teacher who, she was adamant, because all the female teachers would say, oh, the boys are coming from lunch all sweaty and everything. And she's like, no, I don't want you all to come in from lunch all powdered up and everything. I want you to be boys and just enjoy yourself. Like, okay, lunch is a little bit rowdy, right? But she accepted that, and accepting that boys will be boys and girls will be girls are, that's an important thing. So women raising boys. Comments?
Yeah. And this is the harsh reality, mothers that will be watching this. Your boys will fall in love with you. And if you're a miserable mother, then they'll fall in love with a miserable woman. If
Right.
you are boisterous, if you are violent,
That's
if you
solid.
are an emotionally intelligent mother,
Too
that is what
dominating.
he will gravitate towards.
Right.
And we don't see it because it's like standing in a bucket and trying to lift it, and other people stay on the outside and observe these things. People wonder why they are going through challenges in their relationships. And then they sit down and analyze their background, their past. It's like, she's behaving like no matter what. So I want to encourage mothers
Right.
to listen more to their sons and to pay attention to how they respond to their emotions. You find that women are a lot more overt in how they respond.
Right.
They may be a gentleman, I use overt, but mothers can get.
Yeah.
And we find that impacts boys. That impacts boys in a real way. And we got to pay attention to the men that we're raising. Additionally, I would like mothers to understand that you are raising men. So stop washing, cooking, cleaning for the teenage boys. Give them responsibility. I come across a mother told me she would still do breakfast for her 15-year-old son and 16-year-old son because she afraid he's going to burn his hands. Okay?
And that's probably so commonplace.
Are you preparing him for the world?
Yeah.
So you have to start preparing these boys. They don't just wake up one morning and then become whoops. It is a process.
Sense responsibility.
And mothers play a great role in that. Fathers have their role to play too, because the fathers that are absent means that there's a part of that boy's life or that child's life that is missing.
Yes.
That male influence that is definitely missing. A father is like the idea of a boyfriend or a husband, what a man should be to a girl.
Right.
And he's also what a man should be to a boy.
Yes.
And when that is missing, as much as women believe that they can father children,
it's difficult.
there is a void that people realize later on in life, like if I had a father, maybe I would have done this differently, viewed this differently. So I'm not knocking mothers, I'm just saying that we just have to respect the different.
That there are differences.
Yes.
My perspective is similar but different. In that I look at my upbringing with just women as having prepared me for being an adult, right? So there are lots of things that I can run a household, right? By myself, no question, no problem. Oh, you tired? Go sit down, right? I could do it, right? And those things are possible because of the habits that were encouraged from young. If the house get clean, get up and clean your room as you understand? If family clean the house, clean your room as well. You know that you have school next week, press your clothes. So I think there is an opportunity still, which at times is a gap when two parents are in the household, for males to grow up being well-rounded, not just academically inclined and confident in approach, but being able to do the things that are usually associated with females. I think in these days and times, honestly, gender roles a myth, right?
Yeah.
I think in these times, we should be more concerned with collaboration and working together with our families and for me is, like you described earlier, if I'm here, can you be there, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about it. So I think that's my personal experience, and based on observations too, where yes, I would have spent most of my life learning the masculine things on my own, or from older cousins, or from an uncle that I had growing up. But I wouldn't trade it for my experience.
For the experience.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the experience I had with my grandmother, my mother, my aunties.
I think that's just the perfect place to end this episode. And although in the back of my mind I'm thinking the perfect place would have been the men aren't just people with a penis and 2 testicles. But I'm going to close. We had such excitement on the set here, and you missed a lot of during the break, but we did delve deeply into a lot of the issues confronting our men and boys on International Men's Day. And we hope you enjoyed it. We hope that you think about some of these things. I know a lot of you are out there thinking, what are some of the things that I am doing to encourage toxic masculinity? Or even women out there thinking, well, what are some of the things with my boys? I can now think, should I rather just rush up and say, why are you doing it this way? Should I just understand the gender difference and try to foster or develop, and of course, correct bad habits as well? We have been on the set with Fabian Sargent, the chairman, the president, chairman sounds good as well, of Men's Empowerment, as well as Akil Eiffel, who I will not try ever again to give his job description, but I heard he works at Sagicor like
Thanks, professional.
yes, being cheered on by all the women at work right now because he says such nice things about me. And my co-host, of course, Dwayne Devonish. Tune in next time with The Wellness Effect. Be sure to watch us, Sagicor Life Inc., Healthy Caribbean Coalition, and the University of West Indies Cave Hill campus.